हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। Dear devotees, we are continuing our reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. Madhya Lila chapter 19 entitled Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Shiksha. Text 144. Yesterday we saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Srila Rupa Goswami that there are many species of life, total 8,400,000 species of life. And the Jiva, who is part and parcel of Krishna, the Chidkarna, the spiritual entity, is just doing Brahman. He's going from one species to other, one species to another, one just doing Brahman in this material world. तारा मध्य स्थावर जंगम दुई भेद जंगमे तिर्यक जल स्थलाचर विभेद. The unlimited living entities can be divided into two divisions, Sthavar and Jangam. Sthavar means non-moving, Jangam means moving. Those that move, those that cannot move. Among living entities that can move, there are birds, aquatics, and animals. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving clear instructions on how the living entities live under different conditions. There are trees, plants, and stones that cannot move, but still they must be considered living entities or spiritual sparks. The soul is present in bodies like those of the trees, plants, and stones. They are all living entities. Among moving living entities such as birds, aquatics, and animals, the same spiritual spark is there. As stated herein, there are living entities that can fly, swim, and walk. We must also conclude that there are living entities that can move within fire and ether. Ether means space. Living entities have different material bodies composed of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. The words Tara Madhye mean within this universe. The entire material universe is composed of five material elements earth, water, fire, air, ether. It is not true that living entities reside only within this earth planet and not on other planets. Such a conclusion is completely contradictory to the Vedas. As stated in Sri Bhagavad Gita 2.24, Achedyoyam Adayoyam Akledyo Shoshya Evacha Nitya Sarvagata Sthanur Achaloyam Sanatana. The individual soul is unbreakable, achedyo, insoluble, and can be neither burned nor dried. He is everlasting, Nitya. He is present everywhere. Sarvagataha. He is unchangeable, immovable, achalo, and eternally the same, Sanatana. The soul has nothing to do with the material elements because soul is spiritual. Soul has nothing to do with material elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Any material element can be cut to pieces, especially earth. As far as the living entity is concerned, however, living entity Jiva can neither be burned nor cut to pieces. He can therefore live even within fire. We can conclude that there are also living entities within the sun. Why should living entities be denied this planet or that planet? According to the Vedas, the living entities can live anywhere and everywhere, on land, in water, in air, and in fire. Whatever the condition, the living entity is unchangeable. Sthanu. From the statements of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Bhagavad Gita, we are to conclude that living entities exist everywhere throughout the universes. They are distributed as trees, plants, aquatics, birds, human beings, and so on. तारा मध्य मनुष्य जाति अति अल्पतर तारा मध्य म्लेच्छ पुलिंद बौद्ध शबर. Although the living entities known as human beings are very small in quantity, that division may still further be subdivided. For there are many uncultured human beings also, like Mlecchas, Pulindas, Bauddhas, and Shabaras. So human beings are small quantity, alpa. Human beings are alpatara, ati alpatara. Among all these different species, the number of human beings is very less. Among human beings also, there are many human beings who are hardly human beings. They're very uncultured, like the Mlecchas, Pulindas, Bauddhas, and Shabaras. So, Mlecchas are those who don't follow Vedic principles. Pulindas are also tribals who are very, very unregulated in their behavior. Bauddhas are followers of the Buddhistic philosophy that everything is zero, Shunyavad. And Shabara are also the hunter class people who live in the forest, hunt birds and animals. They are also uncivilized. वेदनिष्ठ मध्ये अर्धे का वेद मुखे माने वेद निषिद्ध पाप करे धर्म नाही गणे. Among human beings who are followers of the Vedic principles are considered civilized. Among these who follow the Vedic culture, Vedic principles, almost half simply give lip service while committing all sinful activities against the Vedic principles. They are only show bottle followers of Vedic principles. Such people do not care for the regulative principles. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word Veda means knowledge. Supreme knowledge consists of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead and our relationship with Him and acting according to that relationship. Action in accordance with the Vedic principles is called religion. Srila Prabhupada is telling us what actually is religion. How do you define religion? I am a religious person. Means what? Action in accordance with the Vedic principles is called religion. You have to act, not just theoretically know. You have to act, live the Vedic principles. Religion means following the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because Vedas are given to us by Krishna. Vedanta Krit is Vedanta Krit. Vedas are coming from Lord Krishna. So, action in accordance to Vedic principles called religion. Religion means following the orders of Bhagwan, Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. The Vedic principles are the injunctions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, Vedanta Krit. Aryans are civilized human beings who have been following the Vedic principles since time immemorial. No one can trace out the history of the Vedic principles set forth so that man might understand the Supreme Being. Vedic principles are meant to make us understand Krishna. Literature or knowledge that seeks the Supreme Being can be accepted as a bona fide religious system, but there are many different types of religious systems according to the place, the disciples, and the people's capacity to understand. Why there is Islam, why there is Christianity, why there is Judaism, why there is Hinduism, why there is Buddhism, why there is Jainism, why there is Sikhism. Because there are people with different capacities of understanding, there are people with different backgrounds, and there are people with different degrees of spiritual advancement. There are many different types of religious systems according to the place, the disciples, and the people's capacity to understand. The highest type of religious system is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6. Highest type of religious system is not necessarily Hinduism or Islam or Christianity or Judaism or Sikhism or Jainism or Buddhism. No, not like that. Anybody could be very spiritually advanced. You could be a follower of Christianity or Islam or Judaism and be very spiritually advanced. And you could be a practitioner of Hinduism and be absolutely degraded. I know several Brahmins from India who are in Atlanta in USA who eat non-veg. They eat meat and they have no qualms about it. They'll go to McDonald's, they'll go to Burger King, they will eat meat. They'll eat pepperoni pizza. Very intelligent. They are Brahmanas, very intelligent. They come from good universities and they have good high paying jobs here. But after coming to America, they live like mlechas. You ask them, I am Brahman. They will have had the Upanan Samskar also. They chant the Brahma Gayatri also. They wear the sacred thread also. But they eat non-veg. They eat eggs in the name of health. So it's not whether you are a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jew that makes you spiritually advanced. It is how well you understand religion and follow it, practice it. So Srimad Bhagavatam gives a non-sectarian definition of the highest type of dharma, highest type of religion. What is it? It is not Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jew. It could be any of them. It depends on the individual how well he is following, he or she is following. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaja. To the degree you are devoted to God, to that degree you are spiritually advanced. I repeat, to the degree you are devoted to God, to that degree you are advanced. Highest type of religious system mentioned in Bhagavatam. Suta Goswami opens Bhagavatam like this. Second chapter is when Sri Suta Goswami starts speaking to Shaunakadi rishis. First chapter is questions by the sages. So this first kind of second chapter, Suta Goswami is just opening. Sri Suta Vacha. In the very outset, at the outset, Sri Suta Goswami tells what is the highest religion. Paro Dharma means highest religion. And Pumsam means for human beings. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo. Highest religion is Yato Bhaktir Adhokshaja. Adhokshaja is the name of Krishna. Bhaktir Adhokshaja. To the degree we are devoted to God who is Adhokshaja. Adhokshaja means God who cannot be fully understood just by our material senses, logic and intelligence. It's beyond that. The Supreme Lord who is beyond our senses, to the degree we are devoted, to that degree we are religious. The highest form of religion is that by which one becomes fully conscious of the existence of God, including God's form, name, qualities, pastimes, abode, and all pervasive features. So, what is the highest form of religion? We become fully conscious of the existence of God. What is God's name? What is God's form? What are God's qualities? You see, all these religions, they describe the qualities of God. God is omniscient, omnipotent, like that, all merciful. When everything is completely known, that is the perfection of Vedic knowledge. The fulfillment of Vedic knowledge is systematic knowledge of the characteristics of God. Study of Shastra, whether we do Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, the purpose is Bhakti Sarvabhauma. Purpose is to understand Krishna. Janma karma chame divyam. Evam yo vetti tatvata. You have to understand Krishna. If you understand Krishna, we will be in love with Krishna. Because Krishna is so sweet. How can you read Srimad Bhagavatam and not love Krishna? How can you read Chaitanya Charitamrita and not fall in love with Mahaprabhu? Where will you find such a personality? Gausundar Charan Prabhu. Where will you find? You are drinking alcohol, eating meat, gambling, lying and cheating and swindling people's money. You are even abducting people to make money. And you're simply calling out your son, Narayan! And immediately Lord Vishnu dispatches 4 Vishnu Dutas. Go and save. He is my devotee. He called my name. Where will we find such a master? Kamva dayalum sharanam brajema. Therefore, fulfillment of Vedic knowledge is systematic knowledge of characteristics of God. This is how Bhagwan is. अवगुण करे समुद्र सम गणत न अपनो जान राई के सम भजन को मानत मेरु समान. That is Bhagwan. Hari Bol. This is the definition of Bhagwan in Vrindavan. अवगुण करे समुद्र सम गणत न अपनो जान. Srimati Radharani, You do unlimited, you have unlimited bad qualities, disqualifications. Ganata na apno jaan. Knowing that your mind she doesn't count, doesn't look at your अवगुण. अवगुण करे समुद्र सम गणत न आपनो जान, राई के सम भजन को मानत मेरु समान. अरे, he has come to Barsana, he has called my name. I must give him mercy. He is so great. There are so many places in the world, but look, he has come to Barsana. He's calling out my name. I accept him as mine. Hari Bol. राई के सब भजन को माना तो मेरु सो. Little bit you say Radha, Radha, Radha Krishna, Radha Man Bihari, Radha Kushal Bihari. Little bit you chant. And Srimati Radharani will consider that. बहुत भजन कर लिया इसने. राई के सब भजन को माना तो मेरु समा. That is Srimati Radharani. Hari Bol. This is confirmed by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 15.15 that fulfillment of Vedic knowledge is to systematically understand Krishna. Vedaischa sarvar aham eva vedya. By all the study of Vedas, I am to be ultimately known. That is the purpose of Vedas. Purpose of Vedas is not to know how to read someone's astrological chart. Purpose of Vedas is not how to teach somebody how to build a house according to Vastu Shastra. So that Vastu Purush is pleased. Purpose of Vedas is not to be called a Dvivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi and get respect. Purpose of Vedas is not to do puja yajna and make money and make a living out of it. Purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna, understand Krishna and become mad in love with Krishna. Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgadaruddhaya gira pulakaya nijitam vapu kada tava nama grahane bhavishyati. When will I cry for you, Krishna, while chanting your names? Nimai Pandit is saying this. At whose feet is Keshav Kashmiri? Hari Bol. The aim of Vedic knowledge is to understand God. Therefore, those who are actually following Vedic knowledge and searching after God cannot commit sinful activities against the Supreme Lord's order. However, in this age of Kali, although men profess to belong to so many different kinds of religions, most of them commit sinful activities against the orders of the Vedic scriptures. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says herein, Veda nishiddha papa kare dharma nahi gane. When we go against Shastra, against Vedas, it is called pap. Veda nishiddha papa kare dharma nahi gane. They don't consider what is religion, what is irreligion. They go against the Vedas and commit sinful activities. यह शास्त्र उत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारतः रस सिद्धिम अवाप्नोति न सुखम न पराम गति. In this age, men may profess a religion, but they actually do not follow the principles. Buddhists are the biggest meat eaters in India today. I know because I had many friends. And Buddhism was founded by Lord Buddha for the sake of non-violence. Ahimsa paro dharmo is their siddhanta. And in India, you see, most of the people who call themselves Buddhists, they are all meat eaters. Instead, they commit all kinds of sins. It doesn't matter who we profess to be. I am Buddhist, I am Hindu, I am this, I am that. Are you following? Therefore, Prabhupada defines religion in the beginning of the purport. Follow the orders of Dharma. Follow the orders of Bhagavan. Dharmachari madhye bahuta karma nishtha koti karma nishtha madhye ekadhyani shrestha. Hari Bol. Among the followers of Vedic knowledge, most are following the process of karma kand, fruitive activity, and distinguishing between good and bad work. So one thing we should note here, in ISKCON, we have this we have this habit of using the word karmi. Abhay is my karmi name. और नहीं 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 वो डिवोटी नहीं, वो कर्मी है. ऑफिस में कर्मी कलीग है. We use the word karmi very, very inappropriately. Karmi means a person who follows Vedas and by practicing Vedas wants material benefits. Of practitioner of karma kand is karmi. Karmi, jnani, like that, dhyani. So we say nahi wo karmi hai. And we use the word karmi with a very negative connotation. And that karmi is eating meat in the office. So is he a follower of Vedas? No, he's less than karmi. अरे नहीं वो गौरांग तो उनका कर्मी नाम है. अरे कर्मी नहीं, लीगल नाम है और बर्थ नेम है, ऐसा बोलो. कर्मी क्या है? We use कर्मी left, right, center without understanding what कर्मी means. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Dev is explaining that those who are followers of Vedas and practicing fruitive activity, karma kand, they are called karmis. Somebody is calling jnana kand, he is called jnani. Karmi, jnani, dhyani. Somebody is doing ashtanga yoga, dhyani. Like that. So karmi is a very you are elevating them to a very high platform by calling them कर्मी. बॉस कर्मी है, डिवोटी बॉस नहीं है, कर्मी बॉस है. अरे कर्मी बॉस नहीं है, विकर्मी बॉस है. Among the followers of Vedic knowledge, most are following the process of fruitive activity. And karmi means you're distinguishing between good and bad. You'll avoid sins. A karmi will avoid sins because he wants to enjoy. So he'll do pious activity to enjoy in this world. Out of many such sincere fruitive actors, out of many karmis, there may be one who is actually wise. Wise means jnani. So karmi, so better is jnani. Because karmi is after bhukti, jnani is after mukti. Understand difference? Karmi wants sense gratification in this world. Jnani wants liberation. So jnani is better. So please don't use the word karmi. Karmi naam, karmi log hai, karmi friends hai. You can say that they are not interested in Krishna consciousness at this moment. Like that. Because non-devotees also, right now they are non-devotees. Because in essence we understand constitutionally everybody is potentially a devotee. Jivara Sarup hai Krishna or Nityadas. So like that. So we should not call karmi, we can use some other word. Like right now they are non-devotees, or right now they are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Or we can even call them materialists. There are spiritualists and there are materialists. Devotees and non-devotees. But in the heart, we may call them non-devotees. In the heart, we know that potentially they are all devotees. Everybody is potentially a devotee. But right now, they are manifested as non-devotees. Purport. Srila Prabhupada says, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada states that the word karma nishtha refers to one who aspires to enjoy the results of his good work and pious activity. Some followers of Vedic principles offer everything to the absolute truth and do not aspire to enjoy the results of their pious activities. These are also called karma nishthas. But if they're offering everything to Krishna then and they don't want to enjoy personally, then um, they are uh, they are nishkam because they don't want to personally enjoy. It's called nishkam karma yoga. Bhagavad Gita explains in detail. Sometimes we see pious men earn money with great hardship and then spend the money for some pious cause by opening public charities, schools, and hospitals. Whether one earns money for himself or for the public benefit, he is called a karmanishta. Because there is gratification, personal sense gratification, and there is extended sense gratification. It's all sense gratification only. For example, I may buy ice cream for my son. I am not eating, I am buying for him. But to see my son eat ice cream, enjoy ice cream, I feel happy. So it's extended sense gratification. Out of millions of karmanishthas, means karmis, there may be one who is wise, jnani. Those who try to avoid fruitive activity, means karma kand, and who become silent in order to merge into spiritual existence of absolute truth, are generally known as jnani, wise men. So jnani is after mukti, karmi is after bhukti. Bhukti means bhogna, enjoy karna is jagat mein, sense gratification. And jnani means they want mukti, liberation. So jnani are not interested in fruitive activity. Jnanis are not interested in karma kand, but they are interested in merging into the supreme. Sayujya mukti. Moksha chahiye. In either case, both the karmanishtas, karmis, and the jnanis are interested in personal benefit. Why the jnani wants liberation? Doesn't want janma mrityu jara vyadhi. Doesn't want to suffer birth, old age, disease, death in this material world. I just want liberation. Nahi chahiye. I don't want to become a billionaire. I don't want to have a long life. I just want freedom from suffering, freedom from birth, old age, disease, death. That is a jnani. And karmi means I will follow the pious activities of Veda so that I accrue a lot of punya, and with punya I will go to Swarga. I will enjoy like that. Both are not very well situated, but karmi is lower than a jnani. Both are interested in personal benefit. A karmi is more rajogun, a jnani is more sattvagun. The karmis are directly interested in personal benefit within the material world, and the jnanis are interested in merging into the existence of the supreme. The jnanis maintain that fruitive activity is imperfect. For them, perfection is the cessation of work and the merging into the spiritual existence, and they're never taking birth again. That is their goal in life. Moksha, liberation. The jnani wants to extinguish the distinction between knowledge and the knower and the aim of knowledge. This philosophy is called monism or oneness, nirvisheshavad, and is characterized by spiritual silence, maun. Now, what about the jnanis? Koti jnani madhya haya eka jana mukta, koti mukta madhya durlabh eka Krishna bhakta. Hari bol! Out of many millions of such jnanis, wise men who want liberation, one may actually attain liberation. Actually, one may become mukta, get sayujya mukti. Because everybody is trying, hardly some get. So many people apply to Harvard. Acceptance rate is what? 5%, 10%, maybe less than that. So it's like that. Many people are nannies. But out of millions of nannies, hardly one will actually become mukta. And then, out of many millions of such muktas, muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana sudurlabha prashantatma kotishapi mahamune. Out of millions of such liberated muktas, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna is very difficult to find. Durlabh ek Krishna bhakt. Haribol. Purport. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.32, it is said that due to the poor fund of knowledge, the jnanis are not actually liberated. They simply think that they are liberated. What is that verse? Yanya Arvindaksha Vimukta Maninas. They consider themselves that I am liberated. Vimukta Maninas. Sweshta Bhavada Vishuddha Vidyaya. Aruya Krichena Param Padam Tata Patanti Adho Anadra Deshmanandraya. The perfection of knowledge culminates when one comes to the platform of knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, perfection of knowledge is to know Krishna. Vadanti tattvavidas tattvam jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. The absolute truth, satya vastu, dharma projita kayatavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam vastu atra shivadam. Satya vastu means vastav vastu. Jaiva Dharma explains, first chapter. Vastav vastu, satya vastu, that's Krishna. Krishna is the person who has actual existence. Vastav vastu, satya vastu. The absolute truth, satyam param dhimai, is described as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Who says this? Those who actually know Tattva. Vadanti, tattva vidas, those who are Tattva vid, those who are knowers of the real truth. They understand that the Supreme Absolute Truth, who is Advayam, who is not dual, there is no duality in Bhagavan, eternally exists in three aspects: Parabrahma, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Knowledge of impersonal Brahman and the super soul is imperfect until one comes to the platform of knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because according to Bhagavad Gita, Parabrahma, Brahman also has its basis in Bhagavan. Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the support of the Brahman. Brahman is Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti. It's the Prabha of Govindamadi Purusham. So Brahman comes from Krishna, Krishna's effulgence. Paramatma, Sarvasya cha aham Hridhi Sannivishtu. I am there in everyone's heart as Paramatma, Krishna says. So Paramatma cannot say that I am the source of Krishna. Nowhere you will find a verse that Brahman says that I take the form of Krishna. No, it's the other way. It's the other way. Krishna can say, Brahman hui pratishtaham. Krishna can say, among the wielders of weapon, I am Ram. Hari bol. Ram doesn't say, among the wielders of flute, I am Krishna. Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam. And this Krishna, Nirantaram Vashikrita Pratiti Nandanandane, this Krishna is under the subjugation of love of Srimati Radharani in Vrindavan. Hari bol. Radha Prema Guru, Ami Shishya Nat. Jai Ho. The absolute truth, Satya Vastu, is described Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan. Knowledge of impersonal Brahman and the super soul is imperfect until one comes to the platform of knowledge of the supreme personality of Godhead. It is therefore clearly said in this verse, Koti Mukta Madhya Durlabh Eka Krishna Bhakta. Those who search after knowledge of impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma are certainly accepted as liberated, but due to their imperfect knowledge, they are described in Srimad Bhagavatam as Vimukta Maninas. Vimukta Manina. They think that they are liberated. Since their knowledge is imperfect, their conception of liberation is imperfect. Perfect knowledge is possible when one knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tattvavid. This is supported by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 5.29. Bhoktaram yadnyatapasam sarvalokam aheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam nyatva mam shantim richati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerity, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Research is going on for the karmis, jnanis, and yogis. Karmis are those who follow karma kand. Jnanis are those who follow Jnana marg. Karmis are after bhukti by practicing the Vedas, by doing pious activities. Not vikarmis, they are karmis. They do pious activity. Jnanis want mukti, liberation. And yogis are Ashtanga yogis. They also ultimately want liberation, but they also can get distracted by siddhis. Some of them are outright siddhikamis. But until the search is complete, no one can attain peace. Unless until we come to the point of Krishna, one cannot be happy. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita says, Nyatva mam shanti mrichati. One can attain actual peace when one knows Krishna. This is described in the next verse. One second. Let me unforward my phone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. The very important verse. Very, very important. Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Ataiva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Ashanta. Because a devotee of Krishna is desireless, Krishna Bhakta Nishkam. Therefore, he is peaceful. Ataiva Shanta. Bhukti means fruity workers, karmis. Mukti means jnanis who desire liberation. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi. Those who are Ashtanga yogis who want Ashta Siddhis. Siddhi. Kami. Those who desire these three things. Either Bhukti, Mukti or Siddhi. Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami. Sakali, Ashanta. All three of them are Ashanta. Who is Shanta? Who has got real peace? Krishna Bhakta. Why? Because Krishna Bhakta is Nishkam. Doesn't care about sense gratification, doesn't care about liberation, doesn't care about Siddhis. Hari Bol. When Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Dev in Mahaprakash Lila offered Kolavacha Sridhar, I'll give you Siddhis. What does Sridhar say? It will only be a disturbance. Why you want to give me Siddhis? I will give you liberation. He said, I'm in front of you. Why do I need liberation? I don't want liberation. I want you. I will make you the king of Bengal. He says, I never asked for that. I will make you Indra, king of heaven. Sridhar said, time passes the same way for the king of heaven and the bird who lives in a nest in that tree. Indra also will die one day. That bird will also die one day. Indra lives in Amaravati, that bird lives in the nest in the tree. Indra also has to eat. He likes to have somras. That bird eats some pieces of grains and insects. But time is passing for both of them. Both of them are in a temporary compromised position. Therefore, my dear Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Dev, I neither want this nor I want that. I just want you. Because you are the Vastava Vastu. You are the Satya Vastu. Hari Bol. Krishna Bhakt Nishkam. Ataiva Shanta. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami. Sakali Ashanta. All others, whether they are karmis, jnanis, or yogis, they are all Ashanta. Purport. We'll read the purport tomorrow because I am getting late. So we'll read this verse again because this verse is so important. Krishna Bhakta Nishkamata Eva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Ashanta. And then we'll read the purport tomorrow. श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय, श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी, हरि हरि बोल. थैंक यू वेरी मच डियर डिवोटीज. हरे
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna, Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण